All right. I came into this place where I've killed 2 turkeys in the past. I know I got one of them on video. I think it was last year I loaded it up. I'm in the same spot. I'm almost in probably right at the same spot I hunted when I killed him, or very close to it. It's kind of a narrow funnel between a field and a high hill. And when they're on the other side of, I think I was just saying, when they're on the other side of the little funnel area, I get over here. When they're on this side, I get over there, and just call them through this funnel. I'll try to start answering him. I don't think he's closed any, but he's got fired up. He's gobbling. He's gobbling a lot more regular than he was when I first got here. He's far enough, it's kind of hard to hear him. He just gobbled and I answered him. He answered me that first time. I don't think he's answered me since. He don't act like he's going to be too easy. Like the ones a couple of years ago, it was like 3 in that group. That might have been last year. Like 3 in that group, and I killed 1 out of that group. This is probably one of those, and he's going to be a little bit older, more educated. But if he'll just close what I'm doing, what I like to do when they're hard to hear, and I'm trying to, work them. A lot of times I'll just stand up outside behind the blind. I got the blind set up here. I got it brushed in really good because I had time. After I got it set up and he gobbled on out there, I knew I had time. I'd already called to him. I didn't know where he might have been coming in, so I just set it up initially and got in it. And when he gobbled way out there, I got out and brushed it in a little bit. I yelped, crow hollered, and he gobbled. He gobbled probably at that crow. And when he gobbled, I answered him. It sounded like he might have closed a little bit, but it's just hard to tell. If he closes a little bit more, it'd be easy to tell then. He just don't have to close much more. It's just, he's probably came 20 or 30 yards this way maybe. But anyway, it's been tough here in Alabama. Had a hard time locating a bird. I ain't been set up on one all morning. It's almost noon. I'm just letting him know I'm over here. I cut to him while I go and he gobbled. I'm gonna try that again. Well, nothing. Oh. Well, that's about all I needed to say, and all I got to say about this so far. He may come and he may not, but I'm gonna climb back in the blind. I can hear him from inside the blind now. He's close enough that I can. So I'm gonna climb back in and maybe he'll come in. He may be walking in silent because he didn't answer me or that crow the last 2 or 3 times. He may be coming. set up a little bit higher on the hill. Decided to chase this one. Oh boy, he's a big scoundrel for an Alabama bird. Sharp little old hooks. It shattered his leg. He couldn't fly and he couldn't run either. Oh boy, he didn't go far. Hit him a little low. I've hit several birds in the legs this year. And it took that tomahawk. They just can't take it. Nice Alabama gobbler with good hooks, good sharp hooks, probably inch and a 1/16 long. Very sharp. Got a decent beard. It's a little bit short and stubby, but it's probably 7.5, 8 inches long. Kind of a oddball size beard. They're usually 9 to 10 inches. This one's like must have been a real young Jake last year, or I don't know. The spurs show that he might be a 3-year-old. I would say he is. But this hunt, it went down as scripted. It just worked out perfect. I heard this turkey. I walked in here, parked my truck down the road a little bit. I was walking in, and I got it in this field here, and they knew I could hear good out in that field, not having all the wind noise in the trees. So I give a call, pretty hard call. One gobble right off in the woods. A little bit of a risky move there because he could have easily seen me, but he was far enough in the woods, and these Alabama woods are thick enough that he was deep enough in there that he didn't see me. And I've killed, this is a 3-peat bird, because I have killed 3 turkeys on this exact same setup. And it all happens, they're always on the right hand side of that field, on that right corner of woods, and it's a little funnel that comes through here, and from one side to the other, one block of woods to the other, it's kind of funneled down. I mean, you just have to see it. Just the terrain in the corner of that field funnels it down. And I always sit here, and I'm always able to call them across. It just seems like a real successful hunt for me over the last, this is 3 years in a row I've killed a turkey here. And last year, I think it was the Windy Day gobbler, where the 3 gobblers, and then the year before that, I may have not been running my camera. The year before that, I killed one right up on the hill. And this is where this turkey came to. I mean, it took a long time. It's middle of the day. He's hot. He's like me. It's just hot weather, and he wasn't wanting to move around very fast. A lot of times that affects him. He was really slow. It took him to start moving this way. It probably took 45 minutes, and then I actually got out of the blind, was leaning up against a little old tree over here, and I said, I want to walk out in that field. I got a feeling he might have walked out in that field, which they hadn't been coming out in the field. I hadn't seen a turkey out in that field in years, but I still wanted to walk out there and look, because I thought he kind of went down that way. And I said, I'm going to give a hard call first, and I give a hard, and this is after an hour and 15 minutes after I struck him. And he had moved just toward my blind any that I could tell, maybe 20, 30 yards. And he still was probably 150, 100 yards at least, 120 yards, something like that. And but he'd been quiet a long time. And I'd looked, and he never did come, even though he'd been quiet for a long time. I said, I don't know whether that turkey's coming. Maybe I need to go try to find another one. And I got outside the blind, was standing there just kind of cooling off. I said, I'm going to give a hard call before I walk up and look in that field. And I give a hard call, and they gobble right there, probably in the road up there. It's a little old road that cuts out the corner of that field. And I said, shoot, game on. I dove back in the blind real quick, and he came up on the hill up there where I killed 2 years ago. And it just looks a little thick up there, but I don't know. That's kind of where they want to come. In hindsight, I should have been up there. But I wanted to be down here in these pretty open woods where I could get a good video. And I thought he'd just as easily come here. If he came, he could have come to either spot easily. And he I thought he was going to loop around and go behind the blind. I've had so many do that this year, and you'll see on one of my other hunts. You'll see I've had the video out the back window and all that stuff. It's just been an aggravating year about turkeys skirting me and circling me and coming around and not seeing the decoys. Well, this one bailed me out and dropped back down and walked just straight toward the decoys. And I thought he was going to walk right in there and get in their face. But I think he might have been a little bit of a subordinate gobbler. I think I heard another gobbler in here on deeper, and maybe they've been fighting or whatever. So he acted subordinate. He kind of slicked down and was walking the other way. I said, turkey's fixing to leave, and I gave a call, and he strutted and turned sideways and hit an opening and held there just long enough for me to let the arrow loose. He was 22 steps out there, and I thought I had it high enough on the body to get the thigh, but I was down just a little bit and broke his leg, and he took off, like they do when they got a broke leg, wing beating and kicking with the other good leg, and the other leg was a little bit damaged. And I took off running out there and ran. I thought I was pretty close behind him, and I kind of lost him, and I stopped and looked around trying to see him, and there he was just laying there in front of me, and he about done played out. I run up there, and he tried to get away, but I was on top of him by the time he made a little move. So it's been a while since I chased one and caught, but I felt pretty good after being up at Georgia. I got some legs under me now. I climbed a 1,000-foot mountain 5, 6, 7 times, up and down it, and up hills and down hills. I got some pretty good legs under me right now. I lost about 5 or 10 pounds, so I feel pretty good. So I felt like I could chase him down with him the way he was wing beating and kicking with his one good leg. That's looked like a bird I could run down pretty easy, and it was. And I could have not run after him. He just went out there and laid down. I'd probably heard him do the death flop if I'd have just stood outside my blind. So either way, if you can't chase them, that's fine. If you can, it's fine too. But it wasn't no blood trail. I looked, I didn't see any blood trail. And the unique thing, once again, I've had it showed very little penetration. This is all that was on the arrow, and there's no blood. And it's like it just hit something hard, and which would have been that leg, and didn't get any penetration, not any meat on the broad head or anything. And the arrows broke right here. It must have been hung in him, and when he got the wing beaten, he just snapped the arrow. These arrows aren't too hard to snap.